do your part. You can't help the world when you're playing around and race games saying you're black, but you're really brown. Doing only for self. Mama Earth needs help. Grandma's church, even DTs need help. What can you do? Don't worry about me. Hey, you got life's chores, cause I achieve free. Been doing my part, building the mental arc for the Aquarian age. Before we start, ask Prince Email Bay and Sister Pino. He brought him to Toronto to wake up the sleepers. If you think not, you better go ask God or Griff, who's giving to you. The pop shot was a lift. Bobby Hemmett came too, so did Boy Graves. Respect and love you, though you died from AIDS. Just rent a library room, don't cry for space. Who's gonna help the world? We can't escape the space. Most are conscious, but not cognizant. Won't stick up a pork chop or rob his aunt. When it's time to help the world, all I hear is can't. Many of y'all are coming back as birds and ants. Trust me, I study the Buddhists and Brahmin shaman. Help the world by activating pioneer carbon, DMT dripping like a leaky faucet. I help the world when I sleep, no need to force it. Just doing my best even when doing my reps. Help the world sleeping, I'm taking my steps. When I'm wearing a fez, nationals breaking their necks to witness the renaissance. Staring in a trance, I do so much and willing to do more. Don't believe me, ask the youth from Palmer Court, ask the youth from Malvern and hear what they say. Ask the youth from Rexdale or ACHA. My lyrical hang time's worse than the Willie Lynch curse. Cause I'm not coming out till I finish this verse. Demons disperse till I'm bite curve. Eat dirt till my feet hurt. Ashes to ashes, soon return to the earth. Stand for better and be direct the worst. Drop some knowledge on a downbeat to quench your thirst. Thanks to sus, we remain in the game with a torch high. I ain't checking up another track, don't ask for a why. It's time to feed a rapper to the fire, kick and scream. The same way a spirit does when you steal a dream. The more we want for self, the less there is for us and we. Minimal I and this building community. The temperature rises now that ice age melts away. Prophesize by KRS-One, these are the times and days. This is the cycle that I missed cause I was too young to jump in. Now I got enough artillery to keep jumping. Fire Marshal Ho Chi Minh, let me show you something. Duck for cover, just can't stop flying, stagger like you're drunken. We got aces down here, so keep the ones flunking. Bitch slap a whack rapper like you need some pumpkin. Ho Chi Kutcher, fucking call me Simon Butcher. Commercial rapper, decapitated envelope pusher. Rapper inquisitioner, feed him to the fire. Lead him to the heat and watch the flame raise higher. Picture painted, but the spirit not tainted. See us in a pheasant fall back like it painted. Feels like we've been here from the ancient. Experienced so much challenges to build my patience. That's my alarm clock a shot. Liquor sis holding niggas crack in a crotch. Blackout, that's my alarm clock a shot. Liquor you man got two hands with blocks. Always red eye with the evil scheming mind. Doing stupid things with his partners in crime. Blackout, that's my alarm clock a shot. Blackout, that's my alarm clock. You claim you rep Chester Lee, but who's Chester Lee? Not hearing shots, but killings happen next to me. You hate cops around, but you bring them. With guns towed in ways and drugs slinging, playing the kingpin, killing your brother over Democrat, PC, and liberal colors, bringing grief to single mothers. Where thugs mingle, they in the line looking for lovers. Bail hearing in the morning, not going to funeral homes cause there's so much mourning. Won't rise early, 1 p.m. you're still snoring. Hanging on blocks, mental slaves with rocks in pockets. Big guns that shoot rockets at girls on the bus. If they ban nigga, they banning us. Their plan is up, so let's have a truce. All blocks link up, we need a truce.
Blackout, that's my alarm clock, a shot. Liquor sis holding niggas crack in the crotch. Blackout, that's my alarm clock, a shot. Liquor you man got two hands with blocks. Always red eye with the evil scheme in mind. Doing stupid things with his partners in crime. Blackout, that's my alarm clock, a shot. Blackout, that's my alarm clock. Guns get me 5 to 10 years automatic. There's some good reasons to put down the automatic. Turn a man's bitch in jail, the thuggers get sexed. In the showers on some American History X. I know a bro went in, came out like Malcolm X. Stop drug selling and putting guns to people's melons. Who don't hear will feel. Tooths wear foreheads when caps peel on the real. For blocks they don't own, put down the chrome and pistols. This isn't that hip-hop single for you to dance or prance to. Speaking too much truth you can't handle. Back to the point, stop the killing. Read some books, stop playing TV villains. Gaming to get a name and killing your own like Melon and Caveman. Think before you act. When you're going, you might not come back. Blackout, that's my alarm clock, a shot. Liquor sis holding niggas crack in the crotch. Blackout, that's my alarm clock, a shot. Liquor you man got two hands with blocks. Always red eye with the evil scheme in mind. Doing stupid things with his partners in crime. Blackout, that's my alarm clock, a shot. Blackout, that's my alarm clock. Young God, stop trying to impress goddess. She's run by intuition, activated by knowledge. That's why they got her up in their college and got you behind bars sucking on wood and sausage, compounded in their interest and bonded. Companies got stocks in jail, they call shadow. Governments are weak parties herding their cattle. G.I. Joe said knowing is half the battle. Activation is the half, maces won't reveal. They take oaths of death on the back, they dock your boat, but won't tell you it's a bench. Are you smelling the stench? Got you chasing paper, but you don't get it. Mason badges on cars and sports reserved for reverence. Governments use thugs' heads as leverage, then place peace officers with guns to intimidate. Label gangs terrorists. Are you hearing this? That's how they will get you in the vapor chamber with your enemies whose gun jammed as your neighbor. Militarily they will move, but you're not hearing. When they raid you in stealth with no sirens blaring, you're the emergency, why they call the task force. Who don't hear will feel and get what they ask for. Furthermore, I would swear this is the early 90s cause I'm bumping BDPOA, they still self-destructing. Blackout, that's my alarm clock, a shot. Liquor sis holding niggas crack in the crotch. Blackout, that's my alarm clock, a shot. Liquor you man got two hands with glocks. Always red eye with the evil scheme in mind. Doing stupid things with his partners in crime. Blackout, that's my alarm clock, a shot. Blackout, that's my alarm clock.
I pray that God will bless you in everything that you do. I pray that you will grow intellectually so that you can understand the problems of the world and where you fit into in that world picture.
Sun vibrates, earth revolves, how can I rise? If I perceive through a calcified third eye, Merkaba's looking like paper mache today, and words of wisdom from ancestors are now cliche, blowing like dust away, or metal rust away, doing wrong unto others and got nothing to say. We shackle our slaves, now we wear cuffs today. Wanna make your wife a dyke, you go trust the gay. I am sheep, punchlines make Douglas bust the sway. Knitted time, lift crochet, or custom made. RBG or RG, it's still MST. Getting gods off riddling and pill stamped with E. I go, I made. Youths chant with me on the front lines, and I got no grant with me. All diamonds are bloody, rapping blood clot dummy. Thinking that's real Imhotep playing a movie mummy. Give up a tar doll and call it an Oscar, calling me grouch when I drop the truth on you. Use hip-hop to wake those you call young goats at risk, cause they gun-toed and inhale gun smoke. Mufti shoot, nah, get a neck thumb poke. Trying to order me on the 9 to 5 like a slave boat. Master gets nailed to walls like plaster or gyp rock. Illegal tackle in battle or catch a hip rock.
And I pray that all the fear that has ever been in your heart will be taken out. And when you look at that man, if you know he's nothing but a coward, you won't fear him. If he wasn't a coward, he wouldn't gang up on you. That's how they function. They function in miles. That's a coward. They put on a sheet so you won't know who they are. That's a coward. time will come when that cheek will be ripped off.
You're scared to say, don't touch my ass, you b-boy coward. Try that with me, ball in your face like 48 hours. Bloody your nose, maybe bloody your clothes. Kick Satan's ass in Eden's garden and bloody your rose. Bloody your spit, I'm just like bronchitis severe. Hex alpha omega, I'll make blood of your tears. Not on the Mike Tyson style, but I'll bloody your ears. Verbal shotgun blast you in your fan, bloody your peers. Some Pan-Africans ask why they bloody the feds. I say trail of tears is when they bloodied my fez. Without inspection, I see fiction correction. Too much diction and not enough soul reflection. Agents causing confusion from misconceptions. Distractions make lunch drops like turns missed on sessions. 5-4 possessions. I burn up your essence. Smith cashing in the bonds, quick to live off pensions. Live off our tensions. I got to mention. Give Moors European names and live off our inventions. Saying I'm black to cash in on bond investments. Saying I'm a Moor, you giving me psycho assessments.
And I pray that all the fear that has ever been in your heart will be taken out. And when you look at that man, if you know he's nothing but a coward, you won't fear him. If he wasn't a coward, he wouldn't gang up on him. That's how they function. They function in miles. That's a coward. They put on a sheet so you won't know who they are. That's a coward. Coward. The time will come when that cheek will be ripped off.
Like lipo, hybrids getting under my skin. Boot stomp them like an insect, but not under Tim's. I'm into tinted windows, but not into rims. Pilgrim stole my fez and just added a brim. Stole the tassel, convince you that's a degree. Thinking it's smart with 1 out of 360. Thinking you're hot, but run for nursery and curse me. Cause I run your fried chicken and your beef jerky. Burn out your pork rinds, discharge court fines. Bond less, send a letter, make them acquiesce. Run the racket, racketeers with muskets modernized. Most lost their first and use modern eyes. Using words that makes language modified. Children's ain't stealing children, make them traumatized. Homos are doing promos and advertise. To the lesbians solo with gay chat lines. My space is really their space. Facebook is big. Locks and pics by bald-headed. Proving you're fake. Saying that for love. But just want to debate their unintelligence and their lack of knowledge intake.
And I pray that all the fear that has ever been in your heart will be taken out. And when you look at that man, if you know he's nothing but a coward, you won't fear him. If he wasn't a coward, he wouldn't gang up on him. That's how they function. They function in miles. That's a coward. They put on a sheet so you won't know who they are. That's a coward. Coward. The time will come when that cheek will be ripped off.
Islam. Peace and love to all Moors. Peace and love to all Moors. Again, giving honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the man, came told us about our nationality and birthrights. We're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian, right? Which means that we're not aligned. We're colored, we can't be painted, varnished, dyed. We're not black, because adjective can't be that. We're definitely not Negro, because that's a beast of the field. And we are arm, leg, arm, head standing on our square. So we're definitely not beasts of the field. And the only individual to come and let us know that we're Moors was Noble Drew Ali. Everybody else played, oh yeah, the Moors over there. The Moors over there did all this stuff. Noble Drew Ali is the only one that came and said, yo, that's us. And then, people came after him, played around their little black stuff. Scholars in our time came out, told y'all, yeah, we were calling ourselves Moors. European called us Moors. He didn't name us. The power to define, because we're Aboriginal and Indigenous everywhere we go, everywhere we are, if we have high concentrations of melanin. So we give supreme honors to Allah for sending us a prophet. We give supreme honors to Allah for making us fall so far so a prophet could come to us. And we give honors to the prophet. And we give honors to the forerunner, Marcus Garvey, who, as a forerunner, did his job in getting these people in the mindset of nationhood. All they needed to do was have a nationality, which where Noble Drew Ali came in. And all these Garveyites were supposed to proclaim their nationality as Moors, and there would have been no Nation of Islam, Allah's Temple of Islam. That wouldn't even existed. They wouldn't even have the opportunity to manifest, because everybody would be part of the Moorish nation. 1929. But nah, you don't want that. So with giving our honors to the prophet, we want to make sure that we put on the record. We started last night about the convention. So the perspective that people have of Noble Drew Ali could be not some religious guy doing some Islamic whatever for black people. That's not what was going on in Noble Drew Ali's time when he was around. And he was doing his work with the Moorish Divine and National Movement to make sure that our people, Negro, Black, Colored, African, whoever, so-called people, get connected to their nationality. So this is the first annual convention, Moorish Science Temple of America. Recognize no ink on that. Unity Hall, 3140 Indiana Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. October 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, 1928. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder. The following was a report by Sister M. Sanifer L. of Detroit, Michigan, submitted by Sister Martha W. L., Temple 43, Mount Clemens, Michigan. Monday night session. The temple was beautifully decorated in lovely roses of white and red. The roses were designed in the form of the crescent and star, and the chair of the prophet was a mass of white roses. There was a testimonial meeting, and a sister from Temple 5 gave a speech titled, "I'm glad I am not a Negro. Jesus passed this way before." Afterward, Governor Carner, Brother Bay, Temple 4, Detroit, Michigan, was introduced. He said, "I am here because of the prophet." And he proceeded with the most excellent speech. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali and a number of governors and grand sheiks came in dressed in costumes representing the nations of the world, not representing the Moorish Science Temple of America. They came dressed wearing costumes from the nations of the world. Why would they be wearing costumes of the nation of the world? Because remember, Arabians had Moorish Science Temple of America cards. Chinese had Moorish Science Temple of America cards. Science Temple of America cards. And all those people are from the East, which is why he said, your brothers from the East are going to come and save you. They already did that in 1920 during Noble Drew Ali's time. Been around, waiting. Fell asleep, and they're still waiting for us now. And Moors who have interacted with quote-unquote Arabs and Chinese and Japanese and whoever else out there as a nationality could vouch for the fact that those people know what's up. They tell Moors, what's wrong with your people? How come you know more? How come you know that you're a Moor and your people don't know that they're Moors? I really have no answer for you. Maybe it's, mental slavery. No, it can't be that because, and then they go into a little spiel about why it can't be mental slavery. And then it usually ends up with going into some type of spiritual undertone that there's other things wrong with these people. And then they give you the hug and call you brother or something like that. Then they go in the back of their store and then they bring out juice or, cookies from their country or something like that. And then they give that to you, tell you thanks and all that. This is why they wore the garb of all the nations of the world. Remember, Pan-African princes, no European suits. Because even if they had the suit over it, they had the Moorish garb. And certain people aren't even there. They didn't even do that. They just went up in there like the good European black guy, begging for a license. The prophet led the group. The spirit of the prophet filled the temple for a long time. Really. Such rejoicing you've never heard. And then don't get that twisted or whatever about rejoicing and then you're thinking about some church or whatever. And then people clapping, praying and all that stuff and like how you see at, tabernacle, whatever, see what they do in their stuff. That's not the rejoicing that was going on here. Be very clear of that. Afterwards, the governor, Garner Bey, proceeded with his speech. He emphasized recognition. His speech was a masterpiece. Then Brother W. Smith Bey of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, was presented. His subject, the spirit of unity, how our hearts burned while he talked. The Moors then sung, "Shine on Me." At this period, we were in the midst of a glorious meeting. Governor J. Lomax Bey of Detroit, Michigan, Temple 4 was presented. He said, "When the prophet speaks to us, we feel no fear." His subject, "I are one," saying, "I cried for this message, prayed, bore the cross for this message, but we had to wait on our prophet, Nobuju Ali, who is shaking every government." Governor Lomax Bey was caught up in the spirit and he spoke as never before. Also, he directed the song "Free at Last." He said, "The spirit of resurrection is in the land, and we are rising out of the grace one by one." There was a song by a sister, Mince Bey, and two little girls. They were from Temple 3, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The song was, "Who is Nobuju Ali?" The words were touching. The prophet Nobuju Ali came forward and he said, "The garment I have on represents power. And if you obey my voice, youth me. I'm going to free you, though it's hard, because of your mixture, which brings about many different spirits. When you fail to hear my voice, it is against the law to stand up in an audience intoxicated. The leader is not to stay out all night giving earnings away to someone else. You who are heads of temples, it is easy for you to destroy the influence of the temple. Now lace up your shoes and get right." There was a collection that was taken for the parade, which realized $68.30. Tuesday PM session. We assembled at 3 p.m. Governor Mealy Ill, Temple number 1, Chicago, Illinois, opened the meeting. Governor Garner Bey made the opening address. Michigan, Brother Lomax Bey took charge of reporting the work of Temple 4. and its commercial enterprises, plural. Enterprises, not businesses, enterprises. Morris had enterprises, 1928, plural. So you don't want to try to resurrect that? You want to build something new? You want to build something new instead of be Moors and resurrect what's already been here. That these people just took down our sign and put up another sign and said, yeah, this is whatever store it is. Temple 4 Sunday School was represented by Sister M. Sanifer L. The work was represented to its fullest extent. The temple was spiritually and financially represented by Brother J. Lomax Bay. The reports were a credit to the temple. Brother Trailer Bay and others gave short speeches, then collection was taken. Tuesday night session. A speaker said, there was a time once when the Moors saved civilization. I am glad you have relighted the lamp. Don't let nobody turn you around. We will never be a nation until we all have rights of civilization and someone sitting in Congress. I see that these people have seen the light and walk in the light. Now keep in mind that us having somebody in Congress in 1928 is not the same as us having somebody in Congress in 2018. Those two time frames confused because you still see something being called United States government and United States of America and all that. There's two totally different things going on.
Yeah.
From that time and then in this time, two different things. It's not the same. The Congress that's there now is international bankers. They have nothing to do with the establishment of the so-called government that was for the Europeans who were running from the Moors in the East that were putting them in slavery. Right? Brother Payne Bay, attorney of Chicago, Illinois, was presented. He said, I don't know a moment of my life that I have been more happier then than now. His speech was of the highest type. Now keep in mind, Aaron Payne L was one of those sellout Moors after Noble Drew Ali died. Aaron Payne L is the Moor who would have been the quote-unquote Moorish lawyer that would have signed the death certificate, since those have to be signed by quote-unquote someone with a seal or power to seal some type of document. Moor Science Temple can't do it because the only person who used to seal stuff was Noble Drew Ali, and he's not around no more. So now he comes in. You'll find out he became a prominent attorney in Chicago after Noble Drew Ali died. Become prominent after. You think because he was a Moor? Oh, I don't think that. Because remember, being that he signed the death certificate, being he had to be there as a witness, he had direct connection with the death certificate. Even if they're going to say, you know, he never signed it, that's our boy and all that stuff. Okay. He would have to verify everything that's in there. And how could he verify that Noble Drew Ali died of tuberculosis when Noble Drew Ali had the cures for that? And it's a documented fact, and all the testimonials in the public record, the press, the Moorish Guide, newspaper, that people were taking his stuff and curing themselves of ailments that they had. And the quote Noble Drew Ali used was, my remedies will cure you of anything you weren't born with. So no way he died of some sickness. Anderson of Chicago was introduced, who said, "The growth of the movement has been marvelous. He said many good things for the Moors." Honorable Oscar the Priest of Chicago, Illinois was presented. He said, "I feel encouraged knowing that with your prayers, I will succeed. I wish more for my people. I would join the temple," and his talk was encouraging. Honorable George Blackburn, representative of Chicago, said, "I am here to serve you. We are all Moorish Americans." Oscar W. DePriest, Attorney Payne, and Honorable G. W. Blackburn were members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Oscar DePriest was the first U.S. congressman from Illinois who was of Moorish descent. Governor Pilot Bay of New Jersey came forward, using for his subject, "Let the Moors lead. Someday the Moors will lead the world back to love." One half of the wisdom of Noble Drew Ali has never been told. Nations are crying for peace, but our prophet declares there shall never be peace until the world has accepted love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The representative of the president of the state band of Chicago was introduced and proceeded by saying, "I don't want my job if I can't serve you all. If I can't serve you all, it is not worthy of being open. I am the closest man to your temple, and I am going to follow him too." The prophet Drew Ali came forward and made a good speech. He said, "Our nationality began in this government with the parade. Wednesday PM session, Moorish American parade. There were some speakers that preceded the Holy Prophet. And then he said, 'You stop figuring out your way, how your salvation shall come. Just follow me. You can say one thing, Moors. You have made a start for the kingdom. If you want success, you must follow the prophet. Husbands, take care of your wives and families." That's for all the deadbeat Moors. "Wives, keep your homes and children clean." Wives, keep your homes and children clean. That's for all the pigpen Bays and L's. His talk was wonderful. Governor Mealy L., Chicago, Illinois, said, "There's just one way for the Asiatics, one religion, one God, Allah." Didn't you hear that before somewhere? But people take things and say it differently. Hold on a second. There is one way for the Asiatics, one religion, one God, one destiny. And then somebody came and said, "One God, one aim, one destiny." Doesn't it sound familiar? Oh yeah, because the guy who said that was the forerunner. So why wouldn't somebody like Mealy L., who would have been around, heard the speeches, been at the speeches and all that stuff, quote the forerunner? Why wouldn't he quote the forerunner? This is to show you how tight-knit this thing was. And then don't forget, when you go into the Moorish Zionist church, and then it's the Moorish Jews that had their little church, and they were singing hymns and stuff like that. People in there wrote the hymns for the UNIA. So Garvey was surrounded by Moors. And then don't forget Deuce Muhammad Ali. And You didn't realize that that's a banner yet and claim your real flag, the red flag with the green 5-point star? Why not? Because you listen to some sellout leader. Look at what's going on here. Oscar the Priest, everybody knows, the first black congressman of Chicago. Everybody knows that. That's black history. Everybody knows that. How come they never told you he was a member of the Moorish Science Temple? How come they never told you? Oh yeah, just go online, look it up. They got pictures of him and Noble Drew Ali sitting together. Oh, but you don't think the first black congressman didn't know the prophet? No, well, he wasn't a black congressman. He was a Moorish American. So he wasn't the first black anything. That's what they pinned on him. To do what? Denationalize the Moor, which is the same thing that they are doing right now with their Black Lives Matter and their conscious community and their everything except their Moors. Afterward, we were favored with the musical presentation by the Chicago Brass Band. Prophet Noble Drew Ali came forward and said many good things. He said, I have done more than you think. I want you to help me by your good deeds of living at home and abroad. It is through your good, not with your lips, trying to be in the front seat in everything. Not the people who talk about they're going to write a book 6 months ago and hasn't produced the book yet. Not those people. Go with the people who have the publications corporation, business, produces literature, which is works, not lips. The lips people have nothing to show. The lips people take your finance and give you nothing. Just take your finance, give you nothing. The works people are doing what they can out of love for their people. And, you know, it's an obligation on those recognizing the works to support the works. You don't have to tell people support. They just be doing it on the strength of, oh, they're doing good works. Okay, so we're going to support them. Period. Nothing to even talk about, none, whatever. Right? Not because it was laid down by the prophet. It was told to all the Moors that they were supposed to take that information that they got and then go to the hedges and the highways. Which, you know, because the prophet's around, of course they did that. But when there's no prophet to come knock the door, you see your books and all that stuff, then people are going to do their dirty. Always, okay, Prophet Noble Drew Ali came forward and said many good things. He said, I have done more than you think. I want you to help me by your good deeds of living at home and abroad. It is through your good, not your lips, trying to be in the front seat in everything, always standing in my face. Moors, be careful of your steps. Leaders of temples must be careful how they walk. They must be an example. I am not asleep. It will take you Moors a long time to find out what I did today. When you all go home, don't start no stuff, for I will be right there listening at you. A brother from Pittsburgh gave a talk. He said, the world is worried now. Worried because we are out of Egypt. Wednesday night session. Governor Crumbie Bay of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania presided. There was a befitting program that was rendered by members of Temple 5, which consisted of reading a quartet and reports of the temple. There was a testimonial service. Brother Trailer Bay, or Thursday PM session. There was a testimonial service. Brother Trailer Bay of Philadelphia came forward and said, "Be careful what you say, how you say, when you say, and where you say." Governor White Bay of Charleston, West Virginia, said, "When I accepted my nationality, people called me crazy. If Islamism would make you go crazy, we all should go crazy." He used for his subject, "For what cause are we here? To take our minds back to Islamism. That is why that we may be able to function under the 5 greatest principles that the world has ever known." Sister Smith Bay of Baltimore made a very nice talk. There was a talk by Sister Tompkin L. of Detroit, Michigan, Temple 4, which was very good. Brother Ross Bay at Edison solved big problems by giving a little bit to 40 different men all coming together. Governor Lomax Bay, who spoke out of the soul, by a little girl from Temple 1, Chicago. There was a reading by Sister Pearl Ali. Sister Lomax Bay, Temple 4, Detroit, sang a solo. Noble Juali came forward and said, "This is no social organization." The Prophet Noble Juali came forward and said, "This is no social organization." Meaning you can't come into this and be passive. Come to the temple and play cards and chill. It is a divine and national movement. He further said, "By you being born here, don't make you a citizen." He said, "Look what I have on. Now this was handed to me by the government. It represents the royal prince. Many good things were said." Islamism. So that was the first annual convention report by Sister M. Sanifer L. of Detroit and submitted by Sister Martha W. L. of Mount Clemens. So that's what was going on during the time of Noble Drew Ali. There's not some praying social, we come here and sit down and just talk some BS. This is us getting back into our self-determination. This is us being the Moors again. This is us being ourself again. Like being ourself. Like an example, because one of the Moors yesterday in I think it was in a chat. It was either in a chat or on a comment, right? And that concept of be yourself, because there's a more out there that you can say he was one of the first vocal people with regard to all this madness you see going on today called conscious whatever, right? And from the jump, he was on Moorish science and got the cold shoulder just because he was on Moorish science, right? Not because of anything to do with the Moor, nothing, because the energy vibe is not threatening at all, right? So the Moor brought it back to me. So we just wanted to give a shout out and give a plug to one of the most dynamic minds that the Moorish paradigm has experienced that people take light, but you know, he's not on this plane, so it doesn't even matter. He doesn't even care. But we just wanted to give the plug, right? So one of the master teachers, you already seen it on the list or whatever, because he gets his honors, right? Now, you have to know that the reason, the real reason, you know, it's just like remember like being younger, right? Like I'm 42. So when we were in high school, there was always the weirdo that it wasn't until you hit grade 11, grade 12, where you realize, damn, he's not really a weirdo. He's Einstein in a teenage body. You know, back then. You know, and you start going to their house and stuff like that, and you realize this guy's building stuff, and as anything in the house broke, he fixes it and all that. Then you realize, okay, you're dealing with somebody from behind the veil that just happened to get caught on this side and they know what to do. So just to give you a sense of how, like, out of here he goes to get the stuff that he brings to this plane, right? The stuff that you see, you know, just go watch his videos or whatever, you know. And it's always things relative to, you know, not the normal things that you hear. But then when you go check, you know, it's actually stuff you're like, how come you hear about this or whatever, right? So we just want to read the glossary, just to show, right? We're just going to read the glossary, right? Remember, this is the end. So after all this, right, we're just going to go to the glossary, so you can really get why this really is the world's most dangerous comic book, right? Glossary of terms found amongst the Dark Skull, 418. Now, another thing too, right, with regard to the Dark Skull is that it takes all the aspects that we think are, you know, whatever, you know what I mean, culture attached to, and then brings them all together in some weird, you know, way, some supernatural way. You know, you know who's who, right? And then that came up because on the glossary page, there's a sigil at the top of the page, right? Don't worry, just go get the book and then you'll see. There's a sigil at the top of the page that looks like the Nation of Gods and Earth's flag, right? Now, it has everything in there except the 7 in the middle. It has something else in the middle, right? So, glossary of terms. The Dark Skull 418. A group of ancients who will incarnate illusion is no more. Keepers of the will to do what is right, especially when it seems wrong. Mukail. Beings created from the mind of the abyss, celestial time-altering abilities. War Shechem. Muakil High Lords, imbued with the science of war waging. Eververse. Time and place where space and time converge inwardly. Oversoul. The universal personal lumen essence that is the supreme energy of all matter. Republicas of Muakil Empire, groupings of Muakil republicas spanning many stellar systems and dimensions, all bound together by love, honor, pride, fellowship, respect, and destiny. Dominions, epicenters where Muakil's commerce takes place, city capitals. Transdimensiona, to traverse dimensional barriers. Multipolyversal, where more than one dimension reality exists simultaneously with others. Vampire, with a Y instead of an I. Bloodsuckers of the poor and unfortunate. Fourth, dimensional beings of draconian origin. A reptilian grade. Draconis, star system on the edge of the Milky Way galaxy, circumpolar horizon of the Earth Congo. We'll stop there. So, Dark Skull, make sure you go support. You know what I mean? It's been out, but to you who hasn't read it, it's new. So, go check out, study the Dark Skull because it goes in on some different. Things going on right now that we have to address and relate it to Noble Drew Ali. One of the things was this Oprah speech that has people emotional and clapping, and she, you know, is such a great role model for the Black girls and all that stuff. I think it's gravely irresponsible for her not to talk about the fact that the so-called best silent filmmaker, who she's getting the award that's named after this individual. How come she never talked about him being part of the secret societies? Is it because maybe she knows certain things? Because everybody forgets to check the track record. Everybody forgets to do their homework. And then they come with their homework not done, and then they want to know why they get licks. Because you didn't do your homework. How come she's in the position that she's in? Because she threw away her Moorish nationality. Why would I say that? Because she comes from the story of Ruth. She's Orpah, who decided to separate from Ruth. Not only is she Orpah, Hearst Corporation, the founders of yellow journalism. But you know, bring that stuff up. Poitier, but she's not going to bring up long ships and stress on the impact that had. Forget about him going up and getting the award. How about the fact that this was a, you know, at that time, blockbuster film or whatever with Asiatic ruling. Asiatic not being a Negro. They were showing the European slave trade and everything in there. Giving up the goods to our people. But nah. They're not going to recognize that. They're not going to do their homework and realize that these are the puppeteer people that they've been using at you to keep you in the zero time loop where you're just stuck, can't move, where you're just stuck. And all it's about is play with your feelings, play with your emotions, say the thing that's going to trigger you inside to let your eyes well up like you're about to cry. And you don't even know what's happening because this is just a movie. Why are my eyes welling up or whatever? And then they know they got you. Because that would be the weak point that they're looking for. How many people? And then go back and check the thing. Go look at Denzel's reaction. Go back and watch the speech when they pan through the crowd. They showed Denzel 2 times. And look at his reaction compared to other people. And then remember what just happened. You know what I mean? He just played the lawyer and the stuff with the stuff. And then she's up there talking about black people and black whatever like that. Just go look at Denzel's reaction. And you tell me if he's not thinking about it. Oh yeah, she said black there. Oh, she said black again. Oh, she said black again. Don't forget, Drawley was on the fridge. Drawley was on the fridge. All those people in there, you know what I mean, getting emotional. And he's there on some no reaction to her. Now, you know, could be whatever, but, you know, I mean, they filmed him twice and they got off him fast because he wasn't giving the reaction like the people they need to focus on to get you to go into that mode that they want. Of you don't even know, you're clapping for it. Like, yeah, that was a good speech or whatever. No, that wasn't even close to a good speech to say that that was something inspiring for whatever. Why didn't she go up there and give everybody in the crowd something like she does on her show? That would have been something. That would have been good for TV. But no, they're acknowledging their puppeteers. Who's the award named after? Just go check. Why are they giving her? She's supposed to be for Asiatics. But they're giving her an award for named after a dude who was in the lodge, who knows about the Moors, knows that she's not black and all that. Puppet. Because, you know, she's been made. She's not new to this. She knows many people out here need to hear that thing that's going to make, well, maybe don't fall for it. Don't forget, Drawley told you it's your own that's going to put you back in slavery. It's your own. Talking about she saw him go on the stage and, you know, her seeing that is so whatever. And it's just like other black girls looking at her go on this stage to get a word from some, what that just lets me know that you're a puppet. And don't forget that he was also, because his mom was a German Jew. Jews who said that they don't want to be German and then they ran to America and changed their name to something else to hide the fact that, you know, they were the ones that orchestrated everything. Remember, filmmaking, that's right now, that's predominantly controlled by the Zionists. Entertainment predominantly controlled by the Zionists. And she's getting an award from a Zionist. That's a Mason. And you're happy of her speech? And she should be saying, I'm not accepting no goddamn award from named after this guy. Why? But, you know, the puppets got to go with the stuff. with the program because they've been bought out. All these people that's putting out, how much of these people that we see are entertainer, whether it's movies, TV show, whatever. People came out and did something really defiant, and then you just never heard about them anymore. Because they said something. All right, well, her career is never going to be done because she's a puppet. Never give up the goods. Because even if she gives up the goods, she's not giving up the goods. She's Hearst Corporation, William Hearst. She's not the O, she's Hearst Corporation. Just do your research on Hearst Corporation. This is who they've been shoving down our mom's throat for the past how much ever years since our mom's been watching her give away stuff on her show. Have people jump on the couch and have people kiss their son on their mouth and stuff like that on her show. Like, that's cool. Man kissing his grown man on the mouth. So, there's a lot more. I don't know if you got anything on yeah, I know the mute button. I don't know if you got anything on the Oprah.
No, Gracie, you just played it out perfectly. I'm sitting here just listening. I'm just listening. Giving the floor to that because you just basically covered the whole thing. Because they, at the end of the day, they're gonna watch Oprah anyway.
Regardless. Yep. Those who have ears will hear. Those who have eyes will see. What was the other thing that we were talking about earlier?
With the comments.
There was the comments, and then what? Because I think the comments we could do with that last, because that'll probably go for a little bit. Because I'm sure you got some stuff. What else? Oh yeah, it was the monkey shirt.
Oh yeah, yep. Excellent.
Right? Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk on that. Because
the whole concept behind the H&M and the monkey shirt. To me, when I first saw it, I automatically knew distraction because you guys are wearing everybody else's brand clothes anyway. So what's the difference now that you guys are wearing state property? Like the Grand Master said, you're wearing state property like it's a fashion. It says state property. We don't think, we just put the stuff on. You know what I'm saying? But now, since, they put the child in the monkey shirt, it's a problem. Like, they see that. They're going to see that. They don't know that the whole time that they're wearing a brand themselves, Negro Colored Black, those are brands. They wear that brand, support that brand, yelling March Picket over that brand. Nobody's denying that brand black, but they're going to be upset that they put the child in the monkey shirt and go protest that and everything. Nobody's protesting the brand black though. They love being black.
Exactly. And like we say in the youth work sector, like we say, if their parents aren't down with the program, don't think they're going to be down with the program. So before you start calling H&M racist and, oh my gosh, how could they do that or whatever, how about he's a minor and he didn't put himself in that shirt? Who's the guardian of him? Now, Guardian came out and said, well, hey, he's in about 50 different magazines with different shirts. Like, what's What's the big deal? It's just a shirt. You know, how come you guys didn't say anything when he was in the star shirt? There's nothing wrong with the stars. You guys have, there's no racist stuff with the stars, but the star shirt's cool. Okay. The striped shirt, you have no problem with the striped shirt. Right? But because he has the monkey shirt, now you're in your emotions. Again, then the eyes start welling up and you start getting mad, and then you start going into this racist whatever when all they're doing is testing your stupidity. How dumb are you? How dumb are you? How dumb are these people? Let's put this little boy in a monkey shirt in this popular fashion magazine or whatever, and let's see what type of reaction we get from the Negroes.
Because they know we don't study, knowing that they're the true Negro, the true monkey. Like if they knew that history, that they had nothing to do with them, that the modern European is the true, I forgot that word, I forgot the true
troglodyte
that they have in the dictionary.
Yeah, the troglodyte.
Troglodyte. Now, if they knew that has nothing to do with them, that they never came from monkeys, they would have just looked at the shirt like it's a regular shirt.
It's just a shirt.
Because their concepts are warped, and they think that they really, they're talking about we're monkeys and we look like monkeys and stuff. That has nothing even to do with you in the first place.
Nothing. And then just because you said it, we're just gonna read page 20 of the nigger problem. Right? Page 20 of the nigger problem, true identity. The true identity of the natural people of the Americas who have been falsely branded by Paleo-European colonists as Negroes, blacks, and coloreds, etc., is more. All that really pertains to them is called Moorish. Their ancient Moorish pedigree name has been veiled within the text of multiple unabridged dictionaries. When true history and grammar is known by the reader can dispel the antisocial coined adjectives and misnomer constructs. Right? So the true identity, so just like you were saying, they're not fighting being called black. Right? They're not fighting being called black. They're not fighting Negro or whatever. They're not fighting anything like that. Right? But this little boy in a t-shirt has these people mad. Right? Has them mad.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, page 24, excerpts from Quran, questions for Moorish children. 4 chosen out of the 101 questionnaire are excerpted for one of the primal study books prepared by Prophet Noble Jew Ali Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali for all Moorish children, Northwest Amexem, Africa, America. These questions are fundamental and basic, yet when research is applied in relationship to them from a specific perspective, whether sociologically, historically, geographical, anthropological, or etymological, one finds that these 4 questions, as do the other 97, definitely lead the student to other hidden information. They will conclusively change one's concepts about self and about philosophy and the sciences as a whole. A question that may appear at first to be so simple reveals far-reaching social, spiritual, and political answers and implications. Look below the surface of them all. Answer them honestly, with research data and cross-referenced information. The following are those 4 sample questions chosen as an example out of the 101, Note that the Prophet Ali presented them with answers already prepared. Yet, he promoted the charge that all Moorish Americans look deeper and answer the questions again for themselves. Approach the following 4 questions with that mental charge and literary research responsibility in mind. 85. Name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of Northwest by European nations in 1774. Answer: Negro, Black, Colored, and Ethiopian. 86. What is meant by the word Negro? Answer: Negro, a name given to a river in West Africa by the Moors because it contains black water. 87. What is meant by the word black? Answer: Black, according to science, means death. Colored mean? Answer: Colored means anything that has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. Now let us take note as an example that question number 86 is one of the primal geographical and linguistic significance. Where geographically is the river located in southwest Amexem that our Prophet Noble Juali referred to? What is the river's proper name? After more research, the answer: the river as referred to in the questionnaire is located in the continent southwest Amexem, which is also called Southwest Africa. After European colonization, Amexem, Africa, was called South America. The name of that river referred to in question 86 is Rio Negro, which is Moorish Latin for Black River. Rio Negro is located in Southwest Africa, is called in these days South America. The geographical location and termination of Rio Negro is at the Federative Republic, United States of Brazil, South America. It runs geographically from the northwest of the American continent through Colombia and Venezuela and merges into the Amazon River near Manaus in the states of Brazil. Answer to question 86. Rio Negro is geographically located at Southwest Amexem, Southwest Africa, South America. The water is murky black and flows into the Amazon River. Refer to Brazil as located on the map displayed below. Now use question number 86 as an example to consider answering the other 3 questions, 85, 87, and 88. Troglodyte nigger is the ancient scientific name, and Anthropopithecus is the modern name, both of which apply to a genus of African apes. Pan-troglodyte also applies to the anthropoid genus of apes. Paleolithic, or especially British Pale, anthropologically pertains to or is characteristic of the cultures of the late Pliocene and the Pleistocene epochs, referring to as the early phase of the Stone Age. The Paleolithic man is by way of his heterogeneous relationship to the chimpanzee, also referred to in scientific terms as the troglodyte nigger. It must be therefore stated for the record that the anthropoids are troglodyte niggers and the paleoliths are troglodyte niggers. In short, and according to science, they are both troglodytes and niggers. The one anthropoid existed in nature of its own genotype, and the other, Paleolithic, having no original genotype in nature, but is in fact a heterogeneous hybrid, the offspring of studied and controlled species amalgamation initiated by humans by way of scientific intervention. The Yakub story and all that to know about that. So everybody who's claiming that they know who they are, anybody who's claiming that they know themselves and, you know, they're familiar with, you know, their ancestors and all that. When they saw that H&M stuff, they should have been pointing, laughing. And then go make some noise about why are you guys trying to portray a monkey to the brother when the monkey is really you guys. And then bring them the documented evidence and the facts, have a press conference or whatever like that, and break down who's really the monkey on the shirt.
Messing up people's money doing that.
Say it again.
You messing up people's fiat doing that.
Oh, you know you can't mess up that fiat. Like his fiat messed with by his puppets.
Oh, because they make a lot of notes off of that. That whatever they're doing, you know, protesting against that T-shirt, because that promotes the more, you know, that Black Lives Matter crap. You know, it's more commercial for that. It promotes more of that. They make, you know, FRNs off of that. It's publicity. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's going to sell. More modern Europeans are going to go to H&M and get the monkey shirt.
Right.
Because these Negroes think that has something to do with them.
Yep. That'll be crazy.
They make money off of our people's ignorance. They make, notes. They make notes off of our people's ignorance all the time.
Yep.
All the time.
Yeah, it's a regular thing. Yeah, it's like a regular thing now. They don't even have to try. They don't have to try. It's just something that's gonna happen. It's just something that's automatically gonna happen.
Campaign from H&M.
Oh yeah,
that's a commercial campaign, and they fell for it.
Yo, and again, it goes back to the same thing. That's why it was in tune with the Oprah, because it's yellow journalism.
Exactly.
You know, they know exactly what they're doing.
Just to get the watery eyes, like you said.
Yep.
You should get the watery eyes as soon as you get it.
Got you. Got you. Right? Damn right. Oh yeah, and then the other before we deal with the
what's that you're reading?
Huh? That was the Nigger Problem book from RV Bay. Yeah. From the site everybody loves to hate, rvbaypublications.com. You know what I mean? Of course they hate it because it's making them look like they haven't been teaching nothing for the past 500 years. You know what I mean? Trying hard.
Yeah. They think the monkey has something to do with it. They don't read. It's that simple. You can look those words up in the dictionary and break it down.
Nothing to do with you. Nothing. Why are you even considering? Why is it even a bother? Because our people are so asleep. Just like with what's her name? You know, they don't like Illuminati, but Oprah got a Mason Award and everybody is happy clapping. Like, what do you mean? I thought
only the so-called African Americans, the sleeping Moorish that's calling themselves never colored black, that's complaining, because I don't see no Kenyans complaining. He's complaining. None of them people that's dark skinned just like that brother, you know, and the rant. It's just us here. Nobody else is going crazy. Nobody else. It's just us.
Straight up. Now, another thing, we had this chat thing that I sent you from earlier. Just trying to find it right now. I don't know if you had some thoughts on that before while I'm looking for this thing.
Which one? The comments from yesterday's class?
No, that I sent you today.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm tripping right now. Huh? Oh yeah. No, I got it. Okay. So, this individual, he has some kind of campaign going on right now against Tajriq Bey, and we confirmed that it's not the same Divine L, Brother Nature L's videos on YouTube. So this is another Divine L. This is no different than the fraud person that came out saying that they were Mizraim, trying to cause confusion. So you have this Divine L imposter right now, and got their car towed, and they had to send certified mail and paperwork, and they had to buy ink printers, and they had court dates, and he would be traveling state to state to meetings, when only hand claps are going on, and he's sending his children in the dark to go pick oranges for Taj, and Taj doesn't appreciate it, and all this BS. Listen very carefully. There is absolutely no
Yeah, I'm holding it in, man. That was the funniest thing. These children in the dark to Taj. Come on, man.
This is really where you're going right now. And again, you know what I mean? Like, this is the whole idea is that these people forget again about the idea that, don't think because you were hanging around means that you were down with something. Just like the other wannabe. Brother Supreme that we're talking about. Right? When he went on Taherka's show. And he was talking about buying the groceries and whatever.
Yeah.
And these people think that because they're in a position of being next to someone that means they're now credible, or they can be down and then 5 years later leave and start talking against what they were just down with, right? So he was going on to say how Sabir, Nature, Minka, and go and naming all these people, how these people distance themselves from Taj because they realize what he's doing and all this crazy stuff. Right?
Has videos with Taj
right recently, like right now. And these are the individuals that we're telling you are out here, that their job is to keep truth and falsehood strangely mixed. There is our people have to be free with these people around, right?
Yeah.
right now. If it was for Taj, you would be stateless in a fez, like I was. It wasn't until I left that I actually got to a temple and proclaimed like the prophet set it up with the help and instructions to excel. Individually, you'd be stateless. We don't put our legal research and discovery of different tactics and process procedures on YouTube. Right? These are the hiding Moors that have the info, and instead of putting it out because it's people's birthright, they're playing around like somebody information, right? You know, purposefully not signing people's paperwork. That's BS. Because every time I've been at a Taj lecture, anybody who had paperwork had a seal on them, pulled out the seal, sealed their paperwork, and was a witness on it. So that's BS. Fought alone. Nobody went to court with Sister Abkare Bey. She got her kids taken and got sent to prison. That has nothing to do with Taj Street Bay or RV Bay Publications or anybody else. Are you service from lips? Or are you doing the works? In order to do the works, you better know what the work is. Now, I know for a fact that if something's abandoned, it could be claimed. I know for a fact the people with superior claim are the Aboriginal Indigenous people, was Aboriginal Indigenous. I also know that when you go check her charges, she didn't get charged for stealing a house. She get 30 years because she used some papers from some website called rvbaypublications.com.
Something like that,
right? Because of the that color of law people are the law, that's why she's doing 30 years.
Okay, yeah.
Because of the idea that, oh, they had the cars, they had the bolt cutters, they had the saw, they cut the chain off the fence and then, and all that stuff, got 30 years. Color. Because the fact that you're a Moor and you're going to say Abkare Bey, you know that that's a kidnapping and that's human trafficking. That's not somebody got charged with something. That happened. Why? Because they have her right now, not because somebody didn't help her. People were in direct contact with her. These people are colorable. That's why we tell people, you better know what the hell you're doing. You're talking about some birthrights. You better know what you're doing if you're talking birthrights. If you're talking about, I'm going to go out there and be a Moor, you better know what a Moor is. Something that has these people clamping down on you. And like Amor said in the chat, damn, 30 years? You could kill somebody and get less time than that. Why? Because they know that once it's done, that's precedent. And they could not have precedent with the Asiatic proclaiming their nationality, claiming their vast estate, any so-called real estate, whatever, is foreign here. and they're committing fraud by having their business here. I don't care how long they've been doing it. This is not Europe, so they don't have jurisdiction to be landlords here. The only way that they do is because Negroes want to be Negroes. Those are the people who those foreigners use to vampire off of in order for them to have what they have. It's a love-hate relationship, because they hate their slave master, but they're gonna take his checks though. They hate their slave master, Black Lives Matter and all that, but you know, they're gonna line up for their Jordans. You know, right? People have to realize that you have to study. This is not about, oh, I'm a Moor, and then tomorrow something happens, trying to use your Moorish status to deal with it, and you haven't even read 101 questionnaire, you haven't read the Quran, you haven't literature, you don't even have a picture of Noble Drew Ali, you're talking about you're a Moor? You still go around people and have them tell you black people, and then you're carrying on the conversation still, and you think you're a Moor? People talking about you know, white people, and you're not correcting them, and you say you think you're a Moor? Not really. Not really. Like Brother Indian said, this is not a hustle. This is not a get out of jail free card. You shouldn't even be in the position to be facing jail if you're a Moor. Why? Because you would have got your Zodiac Constitution, you would have read that and realized that, you know, criminality has its repercussions. So if that's the lane you're going to walk in, then you're on that on your own. Besides, without studying, when you know that Drew Ali put the reference point in the Quran, study, and you're not going to study, you're just going to go out and do stuff because you heard some stuff on a video, you know what I mean? Because you shouldn't be exercising if you don't know, right? You should not be exercising if you don't know. Don't talk about you're emptying the bank account. Yeah, I want to challenge you, and you haven't even played the game before. And then when you lose, you're going to talk about people robbed you or people rigged the game or whatever. The hell out of here. It's unfortunate that people play themselves, but you know what I mean? Some people have to carry the burden of the cross. And if you're carrying the burden of the cross, then, you know, you better be like the Christ ASAP. You know, the energy that you put out, that's what you got back. Because this is divine and it's national. That's just what it is. It's nothing personal. It's nothing against anybody. You know, it's no different than people bringing up Corinne Gaines. And because she said something that somebody else said, they're the fault. They're the reason why somebody got killed. You know, well, as soon as people go there, know that they work for the other side.
They should be blaming the sellouts,
right?
That got us into this situation.
They're blaming.
The Prophet came in 1913. We were supposed to come out the womb, everything done.
Intact.
But there was traders in the background. That's why Korean Games got what she got, because of the traders from back in the day. That's what it was. Not because of what she said now. That was all from the traders, the reincarnated and all of that, not wanting to teach law and the Prophet did, trying to hide it. That's why we go through what we go through now, because of the traders back in the day. That's why we're in the situation we're in right now. Where's all the stuff that the Prophet already laid down? They got rid of it. Now we starting from where we starting. In 08, Army Day Publications comes out. I know Taj and stuff are doing their teachings in the 80s, but there's a gap that was crazy. That was crazy. And it was certain information from the Prophet left us where we was at and traded on us. And then now, to the information now, trying to do what the Prophet told us to do, enforce the Constitution, and then the same traders as back then now are telling us that we're doing the wrong thing.
Right.
Still same traders. Same traders.
Islam. All right. So we're just gonna do our little music break, but before that, just to remind you again, especially the people who are on social media, specifically Facebook, notice as soon as that all these people coming out talking crazy, because you know when the cat's away, the mice will play. Right? So know that they're slapping people when they talk BS. They weren't talking. All these people were in the background because or blocking me. Right? Or snitching to freaking thing on me because I said something that hurt their feelings and stuff like that. They're mad because their feelings got hurt. Because I know you guys, I know for a fact, pen LBs. I know. Just the fact, the utter certain things out your fingers and out your mouths and whatever, we know that you're pigpen LBs. It's not, we're assuming or speculating. We know. We've interacted with these dirty Moors to know that they're dirty. Talk BS about some Moors in a temple that we went to, and then they were playing, you know, Vanguard at the door and don't want to let people in and stuff like that. Like we're letting you know, dirty Moors. We just read the convention stuff. Moors from Pittsburgh were at the convention talking about how great this stuff is or whatever. Now in 2000, when was that we went there? 2016? Yeah. So we go there, 2016, we're at a temple in Pittsburgh and nothing's going on, no sign on the building, nothing like that. It just looks like a freaking container in the middle of the street just sitting there. You know what I mean? That doesn't sound like the same energy as the Moors in Pittsburgh during Noble Drew Ali's time that were on the conference, that were at the convention giving their speeches and stuff like that. But those Moors back then were talking about some unity. How is it that you go to a Moorish science temple, they open the door, he's like, Islam, Brother L, who? And they're looking at everybody with fezzes on, mind you. Everybody has fezzes on and all that. We didn't look like we weren't Moors. Like Moors. And they're at the door. And then they come out and close the door behind them to have their little talk or whatever. These people aren't with no profit. The only way that that could have went down like that, right? That you know, closed off perspective. They got some pictures in the back or something. They got a big folder in the back with all the active Moors pictures in there. And they know the faces by heart. Because there's no way that that's the reception you're supposed to get when you visit Moorish Science Temple of America as Moors, not as black guys just coming to check this out. We're in Pittsburgh, right? We're Moors. We're in Pittsburgh. We go check the temple there, and they're playing, "This is not open. You can't come in." But again, you know, they had the reincarnated Moor on the wall next to the prophet. So we know why that went down. We know why.
Like that's not a game either. That's real life. That really happened just like that. Like it really happened. They did not let us in there. And we at the door with feathers on. 10 minutes for them to open the door.
To open the door.
Like they might have been looking through the cameras or something, looking through cracks, trying to see who was outside. Said, "Go through that book." Make it like, is that really them? And they did not let us. They did not let us in. Not let us in. And it was out there. So everybody, you can look up to see that the prophet had something in Pittsburgh or something like that. So then you go out there and you try to go to the temple out there. And then when you get there, it's not what they were saying it was supposed to be like.
Yep. But yeah, so we're going to take our little music intermission. Iron Sheik, and then we got a little bit more to go into. So don't go anywhere yet. We got a little bit more stuff to go into in honor of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And for all the music, willofalah.com. Just go on the site and pick an album. And oh yeah, don't forget, Taharka Base sucks.
Every time I watch the music, I use the shot. All he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie, all black, dusty fatigues. Bloody red eyes from puffing on that green weed. Youths want it fast and don't want to wait. No matter who's hurt by the actions baked. I used to be like y'all with wads and rolls, paying no attention to the sacred scrolls. Treating goddess like bitches and some like hoes. Shopping like a gold digger for racks of clothes. More shoes than feet, I still have some today. Most I gave to United Way. Nautical Polo, Eddie Bauer denims. It didn't really matter, every night pockets fatter. 2 G's a night, didn't save a penny. Got the bar rich, spending dollars on Remy. Not a gunner with the automatic semi. I was a runner, got a call, meet me at the deli. Go get the rock, make a quick chop, and with the next man, leave the grand in the Ziploc. Every time I watch the music, use the shot. All he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie, all black, dusty fatigues. Bloody red eyes, bloody red eyes. Every time I watch the music, use the shot. All he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie, all black, dusty fatigues. Bloody red eyes from puffing on that green weed. This is the game, is to get out. Intelligent. He's got a gun and badge as his defense. My offense is my rights with intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. I'm back, more sheep, more iron. More heads in the hands and front mics crying. More props. Big up yourself, you sell out agent. Stop at the light, nodding to this in your conveyance. General Khalid Muhammad said he's a more. Fake Nawapian say don't put L after your. Fake NOI burn a larger pool bay pics. All you could do is break my bones with stones and sticks. Toronto, conscious cool town for boule clones. No entry with a felon, lectures over the phone. With intelligence, hence we don't break, we bend. Send energy back and forth in sequence, forth and back. Most don't want me on a track. I tell rappers about their tight shirts and showing ass cracks, not actions. Ignorance makes you a sinner. Get up from under and understand conscious beginner. Become energy dinner or appetizers. Speakers beg my flow to come through the amplifiers. With no mic check, few takes through mic wires. That's rappers co-defendants or gas liars. If he's got a gun and badge as his defense, my offense is my right with intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. Some call the races having us in their ends because of your ignorance and no intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. Alchemists on beats, no full metal. Rapping dummies, glimmering ignorance wells and sea pebbles. You got nothing, frontin' like it's precious stones. Think you got money cause they gave you a loan. In the mirror, do you see X or P Newton? Do you see a black Omar or a European? Do you see a Trinidadian or Jamaican? Or a member of Earth's first population? What do you see in the mirror? A goddess like T or a sellout, supporting Master Hill figure? Ask in the mirror, how you looking straight vainness? Negroes see the God by acting apeness. Some look and see wives of self-shapeshift. Some look and find the truth in eyes, dark places. Revlon and Maybelline fake faces. Makeup can't hide ex-slave mental cases. With blonde weaves, that's not bad of course. Forgot to mention Rome, blonde hair identified horse. We are not guilty but want to be innocent. Guilt is responsible, intelligence.
I'm guilty but want to be innocent. Islam. Shit. Willofallah.com. So the last segment for class today, we've had the videos up for a while. Islam 2 that proclaim their nationality as Moors, but the Torah, etc. Study the, Hebrew degree, but know that they're Moors. So we put up a few videos, and last night at the class, one of those individuals were campaign to push their we're not Moors, we're Hebrews and all that stuff. So there were some references that Brother Yusuf was supposed to put out long ago, you know what I mean? But nothing before its time. So I'm going to yield the floor, and the more do what he does with regard to this, what we say, this myth. Hebrew Israelite is our identity. The floor is yours.
Okay. Now we just gonna go right into it. Now, Moorish, what we do, we want to know the meaning of every word. So first thing we do is we go into the dictionary. In the Hebrew Israelite, in the dictionary, we all know Hebrew is Hebrew. Those who crossed over or the crossover, that's for Hebrew. And Israelite is Isra, which is really Sarah, which means to fight. And Israel is Canaan for the Canaanite God. So it's the fighters of Il. But again, Isra is really Sarah. over there. But that's Palestine. That has nothing to do with Israel at all. At all. That's where is Israel? Now, what else I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into some evidence and document it. There's a book called The Cipher of Genesis from Carlo Suares. And he breaks down because it's the Yahweh. He breaks down what it really is because that's their Yahweh aspect. And we're going to really break that down because they think Yahweh is the God and all this, you know, the physical, the dogmatic side. They never dealt with esoteric, the science behind it, the real definition, the wording, and how it really was. And I'm going to go to another book with some more evidence after that. But this one right here, The Cipher of Genesis, it says, hold on, here we go. Okay. In the approximately 1,000th line that follow, the text describes how God chooses 3 letters from the Canaanite alphabet. It says Hebrew for Canaanite for now, and we're going to explain that from the next book, so we're going to continue on. It says, describes how God chose 3 letters from the Canaanite alphabet to create his 4-letter name, the personal name, Yahweh. Now, here, they have YHVH, but the W and the V is interchangeable. So, it's Yahweh or Yahweh with a V. So, the personal name, Yahweh. From these letters, the text that's combined. From these letters, the text states that he combined, weighed, and permuted the letters to create all that is formed and all that would be formed. This implies our universe, our world, and our bodies have all come from letters of the alphabet. We know intuitively, however, that letters in the traditional way we think of them cannot make a universe. The letters are actually symbols with deeper meanings that include the physical elements of creation. Then the ancient description begins to take a new meaning. This is why we study. All right, here we go. Within the last 100 years, the modern science has been able to identify the elements that make up our universe. Among the most abundant are hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. Perhaps not by coincidence, it's precisely these elements that are now scientifically linked. God's ancient name. Y is hydrogen, H is nitrogen, and V is oxygen. With these relationships in mind, the knowledge of the Sefer Yisrael tells us what modern science has now discovered nearly 4,000 years later, that Yahweh of God's literally translations to hydrogen, nitrogen, the colorless, odorless, and formless gases that are required for creation to exist as it does. So it has nothing, it's the theory for the science of man. It's the study of how the creation of man, who is God, has nothing to do with this worship of this figure or anything like that. It's the periodic table. It has nothing to do with, oh, we came from this people or nothing like that or any. It's you. And who are you? By bloodline? More by Canaanite bloodline. It has nothing to do with Hebrew Israelite, because by definition we broke that down. And then even with the God aspect, Yahweh, it's them. It's the periodic table. Mm-hmm. It's nitrogen and oxygen, and nitrogen again. It has nothing to do with a man, worshiping man, or the dogma side. It's you. It's your body. It's how you breathe, how you function on this earth plane. right there.
And no, just to back that up too. The Metaphysical Bible Dictionary is Israel. Metaphysical definition of Israel. The significance of the changing of Jacob's name to Israel is this. The mind controls the body through the nerves. The sciatic runs down the leg through the hollow of the thigh. The will acts directly through this nerve, and then the individual, through his mentality or understanding, exercising his I am power upon the natural man in an attempt to make unity between spirit and the divine natural, there is a letting go of human will. A great light of understanding breaks in the struggling soul when it discovers that there is a divine natural body, and it clings to that inner life and strengthens and eventually brings it to the surface vigor. This is the significance of the blessing and the new name Israel, one who has power with God and man, spiritual and material. Islam. You can carry on more.
Now, what book was that?
Metaphysical Bible Dictionary.
Okay, perfect. Now, what I was saying is Canaanite and not Hebrew, and it's Canaanite. Now, in the book Men Who Dared to See by Gardner Soleil, right? Page 35. Between 3000 and 2000 BC, or between 4,000 and 5,000 years ago, the Phoenicians lived in cities including Don, a name that means fish, in a coastal strip only 200 miles long and extending to no more than 35 miles inland. A part of Egypt where Lebanon, Syria, and Palestine are today. They called their land Canaan, Canaanites. The Greeks called them the Phoenicians, after a word for palm trees, meaning regmen, or perhaps from a red-purple dye and cloth the Phoenicians eventually sold all around the Mediterranean. Now, again, the Greeks called them Phoenicians. They called themselves Canaanites. Israelites, they called themselves Canaanites. That's documented fact right there. Gardner Soleil, Men Who Dared to See. They were the Canaanites. And who are we? Moabite Canaanite bloodline. We're Moorish.
Islam.
Now, I can keep going on the cipher of Genesis and how to break down, the names, the Abraham.
Yeah, we got some time still. We got some time still. We got 8 hours.
All right.
So yeah, whatever else you got, feel free to throw it out there.
Here we go. All right. Abraham, the father of Ram, or according to Semitic expression, he who possesses Ram, may have been an initiate of any country from Tibet to Egypt. In Tibet, the name Ram expresses the universal essence and the sense of the basis of the world, and is also sometimes a symbol of all that radiates as the sun. Ram in ancient Egypt was also a symbol for the basis of the world, manifested in the pyramids. In Arabic, pyramid is Aram. Look at that. One of the most important persons in the Egyptian initiatic order was Ram-Hotep. It's also linked to the Celtic world. Druids, the prophet of Deuteronomy. Yep. It was symbol essence, it was said that those who had pierced the secret of Ram, all the unessentials, retaining only the essential. In the English sense, Ram, the animal, is found as a symbol in the esoteric teaching of the Prajna, Prajna, Lords of the Being. It pierces through all that is not essential. Its motto is, be gods and laugh at ourselves. According to the original Kabbalah, Ram expresses cosmic dwelling, whole perceptible extent universe in its capacity for proliferation. And Avram, or Abram, is he who, having gone through the many layers of differentiation, receives the pulsation of life, which transfigures on a level with cosmic action. In simple words, the action of Abram house has a cosmic significance with some man. Nothing to do with some man. It's all cosmic energy.
Talking about Ram, we just want to send a shout out to the House of Ram, Dr. Nyla and the crew. Islam to the Ram Moors. Also too, you know, like, we know Hebrew Israelites who said, forget that, we're Moors. Right? They're going to say shalom when we greet each other. We say Islam. There's no issue. Zero. Sometimes they might even say Islam and we say shalom. Just because we know that if the Hebrews were the ones that crossed the river, then at one time they were on the other side of the river with everybody else. If Ruth and Boaz are connected, and one's a quote-unquote Israelite, then how are you guys trying to say that we're not brothers? How? How is it that we're not brothers? How are we separate nations? Nations? If you say you're Israelite, L's in there. So you're Canaanites. If before Yahweh your God was called El Shaddai, then you're Canaanites. If Hebrew comes from Canaanites, then you're Canaanites. What's the problem? You guys want to go with some homo King James version of some scriptures or something like that? Some Jewish sucking rabbi book. That's where you guys want to go. You guys want to run with the Zionists who stole Palestine. Recognize that there's a Moors gate over there. There's no Hebrew gate, no Israelite gate, but there's a Moors gate. You're Moors. You really don't want to recognize that you're Moors. You really think that you're dressing up like Piccolo because you're not Moors? Piccolo's a Moor. How are you guys dressing like Piccolo and you're not Moors when Piccolo's a Moor? How are you wearing Stars of David, which is the Hex Alpha, which is a representation of the Fez, but you're not Moors? How? right? And keep in mind that Moorish science encompasses everybody else's stuff. Everybody has their perspective, science. Because never ever forget, the Jews of Harlem were Moorish, and those were the first Hebrew Israelites over here. If you're going to say somebody's Hebrew Israelite, okay, the Zionist Jews, they were the first Hebrew Israelites, Moorish. So whoever these imposters are that are saying that they have nothing to do with Moors, don't pay any attention. It's not worth the time to pay them any attention. Who are trying to say that you can't, you're Moorish American, but you're not more American. You're Moorish American, but you're not more American. But when we read the proclamation that's supposed to be read every meeting that you guys don't read clearly, Noble Drew Ali is glad to know that he has faithful Moors, Americans. Because Noble Drew Ali said, I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors. Wouldn't that mean he's talking to more American if he said Moors? Who else is he talking to? He was specific. If he meant Moorish American, he would have said that there. Why didn't he say that? Because it doesn't matter if he says Moors or Moorish American or M-U-U-R or M-O-O-R. It's all the same bloodline that you can't escape from. That's why the brilliance of using dictionaries, because blackamoor is any dark-skinned person. So who doesn't qualify to be a Moor? Like the master teacher said, prove that you're not Moors. Not Moors. We know that all our people are Moors. Oh yeah, and Brother Inyabe also too is reminding you about, no J's and stuff like that. Go on to those that call themselves Jews because there's no J. Them that call themselves Israelites because they're really Saraites. Woe unto those people that call themselves Americans because they're really United Statesians. Woe unto those people who say that they're with the prophet because they're really pigpen L's and B's. Their job and their duty is to make sure that our people don't make it, to keep our people in confusion. Again, Israelites. We know Israelites. In fact, one of our muftis, he studies that, but he knows that he's a Moor. He's not playing around. He's Hebrew Israelite and all that. That's his nationality. His nationality is Hebrew Israelite. No, his school of thought might be Hebrew Israelite. His frame of mind might be Hebrew Israelite, but he's a Moor. He's not going down that road. He's not going down that road. Walk that road and it led nowhere. Hebrew Israelite, and then now he's being hated on by Hebrew Israelites because he proclaimed his nationality. You're hating on a man because he proclaimed his nationality? That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Because when you go down, and again, when you go down the list of, because Israelite is somebody from one of the 12 tribes. Okay, well, why aren't you calling yourself one of the 12 tribes? Why are you calling yourself Israelite? Like, you should be calling yourself one of the tribes. Oh, but you call yourself Israelite because you're trying to play like there's some type of Israelite nation. No, there isn't. The 12 tribes of Israel are part of the Moorish nation. The 12 tribes of Israel are not part of the Israelite nation, because the Israelite nation are the people who steal in Palestine. And clearly that's not you guys. German, Polish, and all that. So, like, if you say Israelite, you, no way. Because Israel and Israelite are related. And when we talk about Israel, the only place that we know about that is that place that's really Palestine, not Israel. Right? The 12 are really the 12 zodiac. That's really the 12 tribes. Because trust me, if you let them tell it, they'll have you chasing down, you know, just like they have these people chasing down Muhammad. They want to see Muhammad. Where is he? He's a man. Allah talked to him. We need to find him or whatever. Sorry, you can't paint pictures of Muhammad. You can't do it of Muhammad. We just peace be unto him and that's it. That's it. You don't think something's wrong with that? Back to the master teacher. The reason why you can't paint Muhammad, because Muhammad is the zodiac too. And you can't put the zodiac on paper because the universe is bigger than any piece of paper that you can draw on. Documenting and stuff like that. You know, when you look at the Temple of Dendera, that's a portion of the universe. That's not everything. That's just a portion. When you talk to the Dogon and they see Sirius A, and that's a portion. That's not the whole thing. All he said. Every man is given their portion to exercise how they see fit based on 5 senses. You know, like Mother said, everything is cosmology, astronomy, astrology, Moorish science. And Noble Drew Ali brought everything. He gave it to the people to save themselves. And then the people who were supposed to give it to the people, stopped giving it to the people. They realized that, oh snap, we nobility right now? You mean the same fame and nobility that we got? Oh, it's on now. And they start becoming all these different things that they know that they're not. They start being all these fake things. And before you know it, we're lost. Right? We're lost. The bottom from the top. So know that he brought it all. He brought everything that it takes to save a nation. Took that, built on it. Some people took that, held it to themselves, and give you a little piece here, a little piece there, have you think that you're getting something. But not giving you anything. They're playing you. Like we say, if somebody's going to be mad because we say Moor American instead of Moorish American. But when you go through all the literature, Noble Drew Ali is calling Moorish American Moors all the time. What's the problem? Right? What's the real issue? Why would there be an issue with a Moor calling themselves Moor, spelled Moor, and then another Moor is trying to tell you, no, it's not that, it's Muur, because the tassel on the left side, you're a dirty Moor, and when your tassel's in the middle, in the back, then you're a clean Moor, and when your tassel's in the front, what are you talking about? Well, you know, you need the 15-inch tassel because the 20-inch tassel means that you're, and then the 5-inch tassel, but then if you leave the tassel off, then that means that the jinn are gonna. This is not fantasy and illusion and all that. This is birthrights. This is your right. This is Noble Drew Ali brought this for you. He brought this for you, told you, save yourself. Told you save yourself, but instead of save self, you're looking at other Moors and saying, why are you saving yourself like that? What do you mean, why am I saving myself like this? What do you mean? Because this is what Drew Ali brought me. I don't know what Drew Ali brought you. Truth, peace, freedom, and justice should be a measuring point with. But again, if you have people that aren't dealing with the principles, you know what, are bad, playing games with the birthrights, we're sorry. These are all the names. These are everybody who was down with the stuff. These are whatever. And clean. It's bothering us now because, you know, these people call themselves active Moors. They put out so much information. They have us looking like some cuff boys right now. You know, they're telling you the information that but that ain't happening. Happening because we're at the point of a sword. That's not, you know, European has point of a sword on somebody. That's these dirty Moors who had the big balls, throw Noble Drew Ali's furniture out on the street, go into convention, sit in Noble Drew Ali's chair, talk about the Prophet's back and all that. That's how bold-faced these people were. They're that bold-faced. On him, know that he's the Prophet. He dies, they jump in the seat and say they're the Prophet. We had everything locked down. The story into the movement and the momentum that Ali Mel Bey had with the Washita, the Moors in Mecca had, Grand Sheikh Nature El Bey and Asbury Park. The momentum that these Moors were moving with, jurisdictions on lockdown. Moors in Mecca didn't have court dates. The day of court, the door is closed, locked. Court, locked. Courts closed that day. People outside the court like, yo, like I have court. What's going on today? Closed. Next day, no record of them in there having anything. Not holiday. Moors have court. When they go to court, court's closed. Everybody got their stuff off that day.
The holy day.
Everybody got their stuff off. When we talk about exercising right to travel, trust me, Sharif Bey was in the car with the Moors that had their own plates, guaranteed. Their Moors had their own plates. Moors were exercising like dignitaries when we went to Mecca. Had the convoy, 4 cars, back to back, 4 cars. If one goes through the light, all go through the light. Green didn't matter. How they exercising that? Because they were square standing Moors. They weren't these clowns that you see today that call themselves Moors doing BS. Giving example of what people saw in books and stuff like that, saying that the Moors and reading about the Moors. Trust that. 7, Alimbe and Kadira go in the court and they have shook. Never thought that this would happen. Magistrate shook. I don't know what, and that's how they're talking. On the bench, because Moors came to court. Yielding to the Moors. We use the example all the time of when we went to the temple. And the muftis come and open in your door, car door, taking your bag, holding the door for you to go in, holding the door for you. What's that doing to the psyche of people watching? Think about the people watching. Brothers or whatever come walking down the street, you know what I mean? They got fezzes and turbans, right? They got fezzes and turbans, okay? Now you can tell that the 4 Moors on the outside are obviously the security or something like that, because all of them are dressed the same, you know what I mean? They being in unison, different than everybody else that's moving, right? They get to a store and then 2 Moors open the doors, right? And then the other 2 muftis, one goes in the front and then one goes in behind the people who are walking. You tell me what that's doing when people see Asiatics exercising like that. That's called paradigm shift. That's called vortex open. That's called Stargate. That's called what the hell is going on? Where am I right now? That's how they're looking at it. Because we know we'll just ask Brother Yusuf. There's a lot more. Because I know I only have some. Probably trying to unmute right now. Or you're doing something. But take it as a point of fact that these Moors had this thing on lock. Right? These Moors had this thing so locked down. They had this thing so locked down that when you actually step back and realize, that they're not treating them like black guys. They're not treating them like how we usually see people who look like them get treated. Different. Like it's completely different. It's a whole new world. And again, this is inside. This is inside info because only Moors know this. Black guys aren't going to tell you this. And Pan-Africanists are not going to tell you this, right? They're not going to give you these life experience situations to qualify to you, telling you that people already know what's up. Don't think that they're in the dark like our people. Oh, and they're eagerly waiting for the Moors to stand up and make their claim. Eagerly waiting.
Yeah.
Right? Now we're talking about the experiences of us being Moors and what it is that people see. I don't know if you heard or if you stepped away or whatever, but
I'm listening.
oh, okay. Yeah, so just to address some situations that you might have had, you know what I mean, to strike the point home of, you know, what it means for people to see us being Moors.
I got a perfect one. One of the brothers out here was they have their problems with whatnot with that quote unquote family court with that child support stuff. A lot of our brothers is going through this problem right now. But the brother was out here. It was crazy. He was about to retire from where he was at, and they were gonna take his pension for the quote unquote child support or whatever. And you know, he'd been on the information already before, you know, this was coming up. Already knew he was a more been studying, knew about the prophet or whatnot. But he was just lingering with this situation. It just came up. So now, you know, he got a quote unquote court date, you know, got to go to court or whatever. But before that, he sent in that they hate RV publications, went on there. You know, their writs, got their writs from there, made it fit his situation. He had to go to their quote unquote court. Gets there. Now the brother was nervous too. Brother was very nervous. He gets there. They got his paperwork, everything. He gets ready to up there. They call him by his title or whatnot. He gets up there. He's ready to speak, do his thing, you know, got all his paperwork out, ready to stand on the square. First thing the judge says, the quote unquote judge tells him, case dismissed. That was it. She without, what is that, president or whatever, like, it's over. Nothing. It's over. It was just case dismissed. They didn't want to deal with it. With the brother. We're not going to talk about nothing because that's a big corporation. You know big business. They couldn't
big
let
business.
that brother even talk.
Yeah.
Let him even talk. Like, get him out of here now. Like, they couldn't let him talk. Case dismissed. He had everything ready. Wouldn't even let him say one word. He didn't even get to announce who he was. They seen that paperwork, and he didn't even get to talk. Case dismissed. So when they want to say the power, oh, I saw it. I saw it work. And
So
I'm
that's
talking about
work.
quote unquote child support. That's big time. That's not no small time. People getting kidnapped for that. That's not no small time stuff. You getting kidnapped. They was gonna take his pension. They were gonna take it.
Oh, sorry. Quick interjection. I just saw the thumbs up. It was 40-0, and then I just saw a thumbs down come on there, a 1 thumbs down. So I just wanted to tell whoever thumbs down, go suck yourself. You're thumbing down something around here. Why even come on here? Just go suck yourself. Go find a corner. I said, find a corner, put your head between your legs and do your thing, homie. Don't come over here. All right? Don't come over here. Rabbi penis sucking stuff in your little corner over there. Don't come over here thumbs down in anything. Islam war, carry on, yo. Mad. You know they're mad. It's probably an Israelite. It was probably Israelite.
Of course.
Mad. Right? Don't get mad. Just proclaim your nationality. Don't get mad. You are. Stop playing games. It's not a game. The order of the day is nationality. Yeah, somebody said it was Taharka Bay. Probably was. Probably was that dirty. That pig pen day. Huh?
He's gonna report the video.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I bet he will. You were saying with the child support, with the brother beaten, getting it dismissed. And then and then here's proof of a case that went to quote unquote court that got dismissed. That, you know, of course there's no record of it. Dismiss it before you get there. Why would there be a record of it?
Yep.
And again, this is why we stress to Moors. You got testimonials? Email them, Canaanlandguide@gmail.com. Testimonials, so we can show people you study, because only people who study does the stuff work.
Yep.
Like the brother said, the brother was studying for years already. The situation just came up. But because he was already seasoned, he was already marinating in the juices of the stuff. When date came, they didn't want to deal with him. Energy in the paper alone made them say, you know what, forget this guy. We're going to go deal with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Forget dealing with him. Just dismiss it. Yeah, but he got... yeah, but zip it. Yeah, but he got... Zip it. Nothing. Zero.
Nothing. What they did was they probably made the next Negro colored black guy pay his double.
Oh, yeah.
They double his so he can pay it.
Paid double. Tell that story about the Borican again.
Oh, okay. Now, the brother Munir, I'm gonna get his title right. Munir Salam El Bey. He would kill me because he does not go with that Puerto Rican stuff. He doesn't, or quote unquote, like he don't quote unquote mean nothing. I'm a Moor. Straight up, that's what he does all the time. Now this brother had now he's regular though. That's just my best friend too. He's regular. He doesn't do the whole fast thing and all the time, but he studies. You know, he studies. You know who he is. He honors Noble Jew Ali, his ancestors. He's very in tune with it. Okay, so now he gets pulled over, and you know he has the regular look, the baseball cap, the baggy clothes, and he's with his friends. More sleepy Moor, like, even though they're all Moors, but you know. So let's say two Puerto Ricans and one sleepy, one quote unquote black guy. You know what I mean? So the Moor. So they get pulled. They didn't even get pulled over. It's worse than they're just getting out of the conveyance, going into the house. They're in the driveway, quote unquote, in this driveway, parking. So they're not even traveling and still about to get harassed. So first thing, so now the highwaymen come over, pull them over. First thing, they're asking for everybody's name, IDs, and whatnot. Now the other three people that was in there, the three sleepy people, they were already giving up everything. Names, IDs, all of that. Now, Munir, he doesn't have any IDs. No national identification, no ID, nothing. He's just who I am. That's what he's operating on. So they're asking for his ID. I don't have an ID. It's his name. I don't have a name. You know, going through the regular jurisdiction, they put me, I have a title, near Salam El Bay, going through it. They're giving him the going back and forth because these are the lower guys at this time. And, because my boy is giving them difficult. They called, he didn't call them, they did. Supervisor comes on the scene and he comes, you know, with the regular walk, comes up to him. So you don't have a name? Like, I got a title. I told him what my title was. I mean, they're trying to infringe on my rights and whatnot. I told him I was a Moor, and he goes, huh? You're a Moor, right? Seeing that he was a Moor, goes back to the other guys, right? To his man. He's letting them know, all right. Because the highwayman is like, he doesn't want to give us our name. We're going to run his prints and do all of that anyway. The Sarge goes, oh, no. Like, basically, like, zip it. Like, no, you're not about to do any of that. Like, he told you who he was. Still, the lower guy is going back and forth with the Sarge now because he wants to run. But the Sarge is telling him, like, that's not going to go down. Yeah. So what ends up happening, my boy's standing there still, standing in the square. The Sarge says, okay, this is what ends up happening. He gives all three of his friends get tickets. All three of them get tickets. The quote black guy, he gets kidnapped. Because I feel like they kidnapped him because you should have really been the one that knew. That's why I feel like they kidnapped him. Because everybody else, like you let him, like, so they, you know, really they kidnapped him, gave the other two tickets, and you know, he got his charges, got to go to court and everything. But they told him, well, since we can't give you a ticket, we're going to give two to your friend. But the Moor being the Moor, of course, told him, you know, I ain't worried about that. I'm going to help my boy out, and, you know, help my friend out in the situation anyway. But they knew they couldn't. What they do is colored black guy pay it. They did it right in front of him. They gave him two tickets. Because they can't give the Moor out of jurisdiction. Nothing to do with them. Let the Moor go home. He's out telling me the story. Listen. And then, like, everybody's there. The two Moorish Latin brothers, the sleeping Moors, they there. The other brothers still kidnapped. They talking about they got to go bail him out, get him out. But they're still in there. And I'm looking at the tickets. And I'm looking at my boy. And I was, like, really amazed. Like, how you didn't get no ticket? How you didn't get a suit? They should have, like, you really, like, I was shocked. You know what I mean? And then, like, because it's real. Like, he was like, you can see him getting, like, you know, a little more. You know what I mean? They can't just be kidnapping me. You know what I'm saying? I am who I say I am. But the other brothers was like, yo, like, you got to come over here and put this on. You know, everybody wants to learn it now because they've seen it. Right. They've seen it for themselves. Like, yo, hold on. That's real. Like, they really gave, because you can't get a ticket.
And that's and crazy too, because we brought up that you brought that up too. We were talking about Asir earlier. Same thing, that people are going to get to the point where they're going to have their eureka moment that, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to be a Moor now. But by that time, it might be too late. You might not have the opportunity to do that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So don't play sleepy with this info because somebody or your aunt or your mom or somebody's talking BS. Some Mason told you, nah, I'm going to Moors. You don't want nothing to do with that. Or some black scholar guy told you. Because trust me, guys, they're going to be running to Moors when the time. Let's go check. Just go check the transition. Look where Dr. Kabahaya is now. Booker T. Coleman. Listen to the difference in the language, how he's talking. Just go back and check for yourself. Forget all the other ones. Use him as an example because he's a quote-unquote African, black, whatever scholar that when I call him on the phone, he says Islam. He's not telling me that black power and all that BS. He's saying Islam when we greet on the phone. And he's a scholar that the black people represent and say, yeah, we're going to go to his lecture and all that stuff. All right. Go listen to his stuff. Go listen to all the stuff. Listen to the stuff from before when he was Booker T. Coleman now and see the difference. Tell me if he didn't have tell me he didn't have the El Hajj revelation. We're the Moors. Over there somewhere. We're them. We're the ancestors here again. But we have Negro minds, not our ancestral minds, which is why Drew Ali told us, go back to the ancient mindset. When you go back to the forefathers' mindset, you're going to be having, multiple eureka moments. You be having eureka moments that you don't even know what to do with yourself. You be trying to, bag eureka moments and sell them. You be having so much eureka moments. Right? So, Zamar, I don't know if you have any closing ones. We ran this train off the track tonight.
Yep, another one. It's love to the Moors, Active Moors keep doing what they doing, the dirty Moors. I need y'all too, because it keeps me studying harder. It gives me the perfect balance. Straight up.
Yeah, those definitely Moors, those pigpen Moors definitely keep Moors clean.
Yeah, so y'all keep up the good work too.
Yeah. Islam to you, dirty Moors. Thank you.
Love. Still love.
Right? It's still love. Because you're doing a service.
Yep.
Right? You're doing a service. All the Moors, once again, I'm not sure what time, but tomorrow is day 6. And we're gonna be doing tomorrow we're gonna be
Can I get a question in real quick?
Oh yeah, more we good with time.
For tomorrow's class, I heard there's more slides for that who's the man with the Noble Drew Ali mustache? Is there any way we can get more of that?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we could probably do the screen share with some of those. I'll figure that out. Yeah, we could do that. The slides we didn't get to really go in on. And then Sunday's class, we're going to be doing our Q&A. So if more's got their questions and stuff like that, canaanlandguide@gmail.com. We have sent questions and didn't get answered, you know what I mean? You know, we've been kind of distracted a little bit, you know, with Noble Juali Day and all that type of stuff. People who left messages on the voicemail, we're going to be checking those too. Tomorrow's my catch-up day. So definitely you'll get that. Right, again, happy Holy Day to all the Moors worldwide for all over. And again, remember, like we always say, you know, the generation of, you know, it ain't about us, it's about you. You know what I mean? Honors for the props, but big up yourself. You know, without the people, this would just be a Islam Grand Sheikh, Islam Grand Sheikh, Islam Grand Governor, Islam Grand Secretary, Islam, and that's not what this is about. This is not some club. You know what I mean? This is about the nation. This is about nationhood. This is about us realizing that we are a nation and we just have to be that nation. Right? And to all the trolls in the chat, sorry, you know what I mean, for ignoring you today. But, you know, the muftis in the chat had you regulated, so we didn't even need it. You didn't need to deal with you guys today.
Yes, I saw it too. I was like, wow, they be on them.
Yeah, quick. They be on it. They be on them quick. That's how you do. Yep. That's how it goes. We got a little closeout. So peace and love, Moors. willofallah.com for all the music that you're hearing. You know what I mean? If you're going to support something, support the things that you're going to get something back. Don't support the people that have nothing to give you. And keep studying, because the only way that we're going to get through, the only way we're going to get through is if we're studying. So keep studying. Peace and love to all Moors worldwide.
Let them know. Let them know. Let them know. Moorish MC order. I'm a round table sheets. 7 days in a circle and 52 weeks. Dirty Moors copycat and bite the prophet's speech. I'm L without taking a Hajj like Malik. In a group of solo like Raphael Sadiq. Walking over rappers like stepping over a creek. Exposing you dappers, dressing like Greeks. Showing off cheeks, thong wearing whale freaks. Suck like a leech. I'm the nerd you kick sand on at the beach. Verbally your face I stand on. I'm back to teach. Learn a lesson as the piano soothes your mood. Lyrical weed, beat brain food, you turn God. Applying what I speak, the truth, they burn and lie through their teeth. Denationalize, jack for all your supplies and knowledge from the high priest on the mental highs. Bringing you light, giving you sight, close your eyes to pray. Get shackled at night, now they're giving you tripe. Tales of ox, feed of pigs and soup. You've been bamboozled, tricked, had and duped. Won't fight your own fight, but you join their troops. Killing others around the world just to stay out the noose. Won't fight your own fight, but you join their troops. Killing others around the world just to stay out the noose. Let them know. Use the mic to let them know. Let them know. What up, brother Hanif? Use the mic to let them know. This is like Jurassic. They got your birthright. Knowledge is light. They calling you black and you're calling them white. Your name's Mikael and they calling you Mike. Earth shadow is the darkness, they calling it night. Sodom and Gomorrites are called gays and dykes. False education appears real, they calling it fright. Chic on this beat, you're calling it tight. Effects from the roach blunt. calling it heights. With a razor blade on my line, I'm cutting your kites. Rapping blood clot dummies, worry about scuffing the nights. Feminized in tight shirt, showing muscles and ice. Deals, got 'em acting like the three blind mice. Rhyming for nursery, laying clay for Andrew Dice. I'm pro, you're Joe, the beat is spike. Can't take my flow, you hope I ease it right. I keep it coming like food and aki, peas and rice. No coleslaw, tonic roots please, no Sprite. 5 cents for a bag, yo I don't need it alright. 65, 35, fam, no need to fight. Studio time paid with knowledge, time to leave the mic. Let them know. Use the mic to let them know. Let them know. Use the mic to let them know. The truth about nationality and birthright.
Yo,
let them
agenda
know.
to the T, that massive. Ready fit to get the young Babylon with my shit. We give them what they want, so them want come stash it. We're ready for tech by quick things and lash shit. Unified is the camp, nationality, your stamp. When we dealing with the land, we talk attaching this man. So, who the white man, who the black man? When the law was written by the brown hand. Inspiration from a universal realm to distort the realness and take the film. Keeping world under lock and key. Yo, cameras everywhere watching me. Check it, claim a right to be who I am. Public notice from seas to the land. Who's ready to stand? I am in propia persona. To hell with the fiat and the fake money launderers. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It's time for the people to wake to injustices. Under contract, mind for combat. Natural law, enemies got to fall back. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It's time for the people to wake to injustices. Under contract, mind for combat. Natural law, enemies got to fall
let
back.
them know. Use the mic to let them know. Let them know. Use the mic to let them know. The truth about nationality.
Don't forget, Darga sucks.
In the name of Allah and Ali, Islam to all. Join the MST. You should hear about birthrights and nationality. For you are not Negroes or what you claim to be. In the name of Allah and Ali, Islam to all. Join the MST. You should hear about birthrights and nationality. For you are not Negroes or what you claim to be. Learn your foreparents' ancient divine creed. Since 1913 I've been planting the seeds. Enemies planted, agents, I had to leave. I know it was abrupt, but bear with me please. Among the many teaching, man have two selves. These are lower and higher. You want the one that justice breeds. Uplifting the Moors. Be yourself is what you need. Ancient forefathers didn't salat on their knees. Not even under his own vine and fig trees. Fell to slavery for abandoning divine creeds. Denationalized since 1774. Now you hurt others with hands, tongues, and thoughts. Confused at the roads when you see them cross. The object of Moor's life is to unfold a horse. Islam doesn't teach we were born in sin. If unlimited capacities can be found within, humanity has been left at the mercy of those who in them have no mercy. If only Allah guides the Moorish movement, the faith in your prophet, please don't lose it. In the name of Allah and Ali, Islam to all. Join the MST. You should hear about birthrights and nationality. For you are not Negroes or what you claim to be. In the name of Allah and Ali, Islam to all. Join the MST. You should hear about birthrights and nationality. For you are not Negroes or what you claim to be. Coming as he did with a national message. Many disrespect disrespect and don't get the lessons. Following the speakers, not the words spoken. Connect to the higher powers or wires broken. This is our prophet and there's none left. False prophets point followers to the joys of death. Circle 7 says Jesus but means Ben Yosef. Where you find Allah, we know the heart is closer. To find a real prophet in these days is rare. Most propagate a faith to have the people in fear. Together we stand, divided we fall. Prophet said study the Constitution, cause law is all divine and national principle specific. His call to all loyal and faithful more is specific. Most made our prophet suffer severely in the past, waving banners with the claims of a national flag. In the name of Allah and Ali, Islam to all, join the MST. You should hear about birthrights and nationality, for you are not Negroes or what you claim to be. In the name of Allah and Ali, Islam to all, join the MST. You should hear about birthrights and nationality, for you are not Negroes or what you claim to be. If you have race pride and love your race, join the MST and you must make haste. If Europeans help, then why not you? I'm your prophet. Who you think I came here to? Redeem from the slavery state that's mental. Get off your 4 legs and out the kennel. This field is open to strong men and women, willing and seeking the kingdom of heaven. Lack of sincerity is in the churches. Lack of truth makes all religions worthless. I took a red pill and blue pill to know the ledge. Tree of life ciphers dance in my head like sugar plums. If you're sick, lime and a shot of rum. New wine and old skins will have you wasting some. Tried for many years, they still blind and dumb. Standing on the corner pushing crack and crime and guns. Hanging at high noon, a star called sun, bleaching the sellouts' bones dry, and they asking why. Schemers walk and traders grit all the time. On the high road, I watch them fall for the last time. In the name of Allah and Ali, Islam to all, join the MST. You should hear about birthrights and nationality, for you are not Negroes or what you claim to be. In the name of Allah and Ali, Islam to all, join the MST. You should hear about birthrights and nationality, for you are not Negroes or what you claim to be.
You remember the last meeting? I was speaking about religious freedom. I was speaking about how if America said mass vaccination of smallpox, how we could say we don't want to get it under religious freedom. Didn't the president announce mass smallpox and vaccination everything? So it's just showing you we got to stay in tune with the times. The prophet also said, quote, prophecy number 57, he said, quote, watch the newspapers and listen to the radio. I am going to make the European tell the truth. So we saying in the last days, listen carefully. What you hear in the newspapers, what you see on the news. He said because he's going to make them tell the truth at that time. And if you listen carefully, you could distinguish the truth from what they're saying.
Most talk whack when they talk on wax. Mr. Talk crap and rap should walk on tax. Doing a song about Kobe, what's wrong with Shaq? Co-MVP acceptor, what's wrong with Shaq? Saw the title, wonder what's wrong with Mike. Lesbians stole the arm, what's wrong with Dykes? What's wrong today, what's wrong yesterday? What's wrong with truth, liars got nothing to say. Spirits and bottles is what's wrong with booze. No code of the streets is what's wrong with crews. Too much bias is what's wrong with news. It's not the same leather is what's wrong with shoes. I could get shot is what's wrong with blues. Knowledge as a nationality is what's wrong with Jews. You're not Spanish is what's wrong with Negro. You're brown is what's wrong with black people. No energy is what's wrong with money. It's just paper and lacks currency. They're not disciplined is what's wrong with youths. Safe sex taught is what's wrong with schools. Babies having babies pulling out their hair. But he's the man of the house in a baby chair. Following myths is what's wrong with thugs. You're killing people is what's wrong with selling drugs. What's wrong with man? What's wrong with maps? That's not hip hop is what's wrong with rap. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? Messing with swallowing bird that give the flu, they give the virus, ain't got no cure. Got you taking bait with no law. I'm the white man, what's wrong with y'all? Niggas are monkeys with thinking stall. Blacks are deaf people, and that's a fact with no volition. It's why they act the way they do, think backwards and forward. That's why you have an awkward view. What's wrong with me? I chill with Jupiter and Esau. Who's more conscious than killing black people? What's wrong with crack? It's not evil. We're not named against the pyramid, just the eagle. Through deception, we still suffer slavery. When accident's over, don't say maybe. It's old line, slavery is alive and well. But not honor of our parents is why we fell. No man is able to change my descent unless beyond Goddess Allah his hand extends. The great sin to us is nationality and failure to claim a nationality. How far do the effects of great sin go? Down the rabbit hole, walking on gold brick roads. Patriot euros using our common law to call a birthright being taught in the lodge. Your culture was stolen in 1492. You went from being Aladdin to nigga Abu. You say it's a cartoon, but he's got your fares, and you got your mom stocking like caps on your heads.
It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash. Why attack your intellect? It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash. Why attack your intellect? It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash. Why attack your intellect? It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash.
Yeah, when more study our Quran and questions for Moorish children, prosecutors and magistrates hit us in the admin buildings, challenging jurisdiction, paperwork sent first, no fiat, quenching their money hungry, bloody credit thirst. Trustees benefit when they cheat your estate. That you thought was a provincial state is a big mistake. From corporate plantations, there's no escape or back door unless reserve rights on contract doors. Keep eyes open for, like you misplaced something. It's witchcraft when you hear caught and your heartbeats jumping. Extortion, past due letters, fake money, bounty hunting. Filing public record papers with in-debt counties fronting to have authority. Constitution approved, but those file papers at the county doesn't stop the abuse. Might as well just put on the noose, shackles and chains on ankles, no boots. In snowstorms with no shame, with no status, no flag, no free national name. With fractional damage, collateral, irrational claims. Catch a psych evaluation or contempt of quasi-court. Calling out what's not in evidence won't set a precedence. It's prison of treason and gross negligence. Denying due process and sharing the same sentiments. On you harder than cement is. If you give them a chance, I'm here to help you not enter their brainwash camps. Keep your neck hidden, no kidding. Watch out for vamps, light revealer, and keeper won't keep casting the lamps. Always giving without expecting thanks. In a b-boy stance, scimitar swinging at outstretched hands.
It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash. Why attack your intellect? It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash.
Yo, they run on the floor with elegance, lower self-elements. Get the gentleness stomp of Hannibal Alp elephants. Taking back our settlements, induce relevant resonance. In full life, ancestral mind, no artificial intelligence. Men turn bionic, high off the seedless hydroponic. Thinking they on it, but what they on it must be demonic. Not Baphomet, Moroccan star on his head. Crescent moons of Islam, he uses caduceus from Kemet. Sitting in meditation, goatee like a Rasta. Raised Kundalini light bursts out the crown chakra. Volcanic view HD and panoramic. No ayahuasca roots, seeing signs and symbols automatic. Dinner plate eyes, cause mine's so wide open. Maybe an omen can't see truth cause your third eye's swollen. And it's not going down no matter what spell's spoken. Or your devotion or golden potent potion. Can even use water frozen Moorish shogun. Says the calcifying chambers now rest in the bottom of oceans. Left hoping, false prophet quoting and chasing. Minds under control like lasers for steel engraving. Mental blocks and thought barricades the real enslaving. No cape, no type, no dynamic duo. zero when I'm saving. With heads locked, hot brainwashed, don't think I'm breaking or b-boying. Put scholars, very annoying. With hillbilly sovereigns, knowledge hee-hawing. Being sold out by my owners, what has me worrying? Out of your brainwashed. Arm, leg, arm, head, Gazy said, supposed to make me ride his dick, talking slick. If you ask me, talking ish. In the back, reading Kabbalah with Ruben, snorting hits, consciousness. The market now, watch your emotions and heart rate. Messing with those energy potions, stomach turning like you're turning in an ocean. Blacks known as Indian in Canada, they call them Scotian. Canaanland sung about enslaved hymns, following North Stars with matriarchal ancients. Underground slave road, barefoot, ankle high, snow, Gore-Tex boots, toots full low, army jacket, and brown bags, feeling the hungry, inspiring others here and across the country. To the clan, this nigga's no Portuguese monkey. To the Masons, the science of Moorish junkie. 5-point star, needle stuck in my arm, I'm tripping at orbs, moving shadows, room spinning. As above, so below, underwater is the sky, birds swim, fish fly, and flocks, clouds are rocks. Is it me or do I see things? So many false prophets, untrue things. Know thyself, you can't undo things. Old things, more things, the new things, do things. Is it me or do I see things? So many false prophets, untrue things. Know thyself, you can't undo things. Old things, more things, the new things, do things. No time and no clocks. Wake up in a sweat, cool clothes dripping, even my socks. I know it's not the weed cause I'm smoke fasting. And everybody knows that's everlasting. Still wrote passion on Cosmo L beats. Forced the hand of dirty old Moors in back seats. Moorish, not tribes of tall heels and black feet. Sundry free, Al-Moroccan sun dry, albums dropping. No start flopping, no chart topping. Just Moorish MC loving, only a couple of them. No status needs no airplay in my headphones. Their rapping makes moms buy headstones, burying their children. They never knew get drunk or sherry in the building. Staircases, fingerprints on gats and bare faces. On lobby cameras, pushing over ladies with gifts from Santa. Who's really Satan Claus? Riding Nazi, red-nosed reindeer, Rudolph. The dispute of is Jay-Z and Mason. Faking or taking back shots. Got your son shot.
The strongest and smartest men who've ever lived. I see all this potential. I see squandered. God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables. Slaves with white collars.
Marcus Garvey got my right, Drew Ali got my left side. Hook pulling for devil's hides with the valley of death stride. Blade dirty like it does a shower, tongue is the sword. Moorish master MC Moore, I self am Lord. Accent of Tony Martin and Kwame Ture. They poison Steve Coakley, exposing the black boule. Threatening Ivan Van Sertima with deportation. To his own land he's in, so you know some Masons. I'm pulling strings to shut them up for saying all next. Speaking the truth of those existing before Toltecs and Aztecs and Mayan. So-called blacks are the Hawaiian and the American and the free white man. Stop the blood clot crying. Irish nigga fighting a dancing monkey. Disgrace the race, slap a mumble rap chunky. Take your mask off, show you the future, keep you nervous sweats. Listen to yourself singing about Maori and Percocets.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes. Working jobs we hate, so we buy shit we don't need.
I see y'all wearing skinny jeans and sagging and sports bra shirts. Calling Mochi to bury them in Calgary far outskirts. Too grizzly to bear. I fear falling off this frisbee, I swear. Never mind sight impaired, stay on my square. 7 and 4 quadrant ring. I'm on my knees not praying. I'm strangling gin with rude Raksha beads. Some might say mala, some might call it a Buddhist chain. In times of war, everything is a weapon just the same as everything above has it below. Check the facts and stone. If you can find one, ask the Pharaoh. What Orion and Sirius have to do with the plateau of Giza. Ancestors thought project place to place like freezer. More scientists, Sufis, shut up or down believers. Make those with little faith become ancestral receivers. Through signs and symbols, rhymes and signals. Either abandon or get your birthright like a retriever. Abandon or get your birthright like a retriever. No need to bring it back, you need no shepherd. stop being a sheep. Black, stop wasting effort. Stop letting traders chill, drop them off in deserts. I buzz a dinner, a sellout. Before I get the hell out, I listen to what Drew Ali taught. He didn't have to yell out. Ref, bring the bell out. Shango, the chicken heads out. Merge shaman stones and tiger eyes help the spell out. Cool Bay, the reason El Shabazz and Ali fell out. More's disgruntled and watching people with brows crumble to be exalted, but praise themselves never humble. Begging for props, wanting segregation, but calling the cops. Then calling them racist after someone gets shot or beat to a pulp or choked out. R.I.P. Their ancestors let their devil self haunt their dreams. Tortured forever and ever have peace never. So low, make their head hurt with biometric pressure.
No children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives.